Welcome back to Cheddar's Opening Bell, everyone. TikTok has kept millions entertained during quarantine and launched dozens of teens into stardom and even venture capitalism. I'm joined now by social media star Josh Richards. He's now also a venture partner at Remus Capital. Great to have you with us on the show, Josh. So you're making a little bit of a transition, but you've been investing for a while now. What first inspired you to become an angel investor, and why go into venture capital now?
Yeah, I've been doing entrepreneurship for a while now. It's always been something that really interested me. And then with my partner, Michael Gruen, he started talking to me about how I need to start utilizing the money I've already made and the money I'm making and look more long term. So that's when I started getting into angel investing.
So Josh, for Remus Capital specifically, I know they invest in early stage startups looking to look for disruptive technologies. We've seen a lot of, young investors especially this year using their gut familiarity with companies to make investment decisions, maybe less so on, say, the fundamentals of a business. What is your strategy? What are you bringing to the table at Remus Capital to be able to identify some of those disruptive technologies and companies?
Yeah, I think that as a member of Gen Z, I'm able to come in with a different point of view, as well as I use social media on a daily basis. I'm always on different platforms, so I'm seeing what the trends are in pop culture. So I always can add my advice and 2 cents on that.
So I'm just trying to understand kind of bridging those trends into investment decisions, even outside social media. What are some of the trends that you're seeing that might point to a new space or industry or type of company that you might actually bring to the table for Remus?
Yeah, of course. There's a lot of different examples I could go into. One that's I like to use is actually a company that I started myself, which was Annie Energy. We saw a trend after me and my partner Bryce Hall. We were shotgunning energy drinks in our videos. Everyone started doing it on social media. They were sending us clips. There were ending up being contests about it. And instead of promoting Red Bull or Bang or any of the other companies, we saw that there was this want for a new Gen Z energy drink. So that's when Bryce and I decided to release Annie Energy.
You're also the chief strategy officer at Triller. As somebody who has a lot of influence and is working on strategy for a social company, how do you consider more equity and diversity across the board? Because we do know that creators of color, for example, have not been promoted and boosted and elevated as much on some of these platforms. Having your visibility, how do you ensure we do see a more equitable future when we do look at social media?
Yeah, of course. With Triller, the reason we were or I was so excited to team up with them is because of how forward thinking they were. They were all about the creator, no matter who the creator were or was, and they just wanted to create a platform that was great for the creator to use, great for the fans to use. It was safe and it was easily monetized.
And also using that concept in the venture capital world as well, we know that women of color get less than 1% of VC investment. How are you going to help Remus Capital look at those more diverse markets and make sure the narrative is changed around the types of entrepreneurs we see, especially in the tech space?
Well, I think that there's been a lot of young female founders that have been stepping up recently, and I've come across more and more companies on a daily basis or getting pitched more companies from female founders, and they're just as great as male founders. So I think that just with listening to the founders, that's what I focus on is the founder themselves. So yeah, I'm going to continue doing that.
And Josh, I imagine you have a lot of entrepreneurs that inspire you. Is there anyone that you look up to that you kind of model your decision making on in the startup and entrepreneurship space?
Yeah, a big one is Ashton Kutcher. He was an actor and an entertainer, and then stepped into the venture world and has done a fabulous job. So definitely an idol for me.
What do you use as your resources to help inform your investment decisions? You mentioned that you look at the trends across social media, but what are you using to kind of boost that knowledge base to be able to bring to the table to Remus Capital and even your own personal investment making decisions?
Yeah, well, I have a lot of mentors that I've been able to come across through my journey in social media and entrepreneurship. So anytime that I have a deal that I feel like I need a little extra advice on, or someone else's opinion, a fresh set of eyes, I'm able to go to a couple of my investor mentors or some people that have had startups of their own and ask for their advice.
Josh, I do want to ask you about the Sway House, of which you are a founder. I know you took a break for some time. You are back home in Toronto right now, not in LA at the moment. But what was that experience like in deciding to step away for a little bit, kind of gather yourself? And how do you make those decisions of when you want to be in the house versus not and take some time to yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I know that I love being at that house with the boys creating content. It's the best thing in the world. I wake up every morning super excited to do so. But I think every once in a while we all get a little too caught up in the content and the views and trying to make sure every video outdoes the last. So it's always a good thing just to take a little break, maybe a week or even just a weekend, and go back to your core.
And Josh, I know you and the other guys in the Sway House have turned to charity as well, giving back, handing out food, sweatshirts to the homeless community in LA. How important is that to you to give back, especially as someone who has such a large platform?
I mean, it's huge. Something my parents were always talking to me about as a kid is when you get to a point when you can give back, like it's your civil duty, right? And that's something that I felt was very important to me, and I kind of owe to my parents in how they raised me. So now that I'm finally at a place where I'm able to give back to the community, a community that's treated me so well and done so much for me, it's very important.
All right, Josh, thank you so much for your time and good luck on all of your ventures. That's Josh Richardson, social media star and venture partner at Remus Capital. Thanks again.